Valve has been doing some pretty abnormal stuff lately. They did 2 takedowns on fan-made projects, one of them including a TF2 Source 2 port. That one was in the work for 2 years. This isn't the first time we've seen Valve do something like this. They actually did the same thing to another, I believe it was CSGO being ported into Source 2. But that takedown had a purpose because Valve was already planning their own Source 2 project. So it does make me kind of like a little curious about why they did these takedowns in the first place. I'm sure they're not just pulling a Nintendo move here and just taking down these projects for the licensing. This kind of goes against a lot of like what Valve is and what they're known for. I do want to state that this is just kind of just my thoughts and opinions on this situation. Now, there is no real way to find out like why Valve did this because only they would have to bring out a statement saying otherwise. But the best thing we do is kind of just look through Twitter and just kind of see what we run into. While this situation is very similar to how Valve handled Source 2 ports of CSGO before CS2 was announced, I really doubt that we are going to see a TF2 Source 2 officially made by Valve in the coming months. Yeah, I do too, but it does make me kind of like think that Valve is at least interested in doing something with TF2 and Source 2. That is like the best speculative thing I could make of it because I can't understand or at least be given like a logical reason to like why Valve would just randomly take down the project unless they're intentionally trying to kill Team Fortress 2, which is a very absurd thing to say because that game still generates a lot of revenue for them every year. As a matter of fact, they even updated the game like yesterday. They did a little bit of map bug fixes and they actually did some tweaking on the HUDs of certain weapons. They looked back at a weapon that was released like a couple of like almost a decade ago now and they did some fixes for that. Unfortunate circumstances occurred whenever Valve actually pushed out the update. It caused the item service to be down for like more than even 24 hours. And what the joke of the update is that it brought TF2 back to when it was released back in 2009 because nobody could play with their items. You couldn't switch weapons at all. You were stuck with only the default weapons that the game gives you when you first launch up the game. There was no hats, there was no other cosmetics, taunts, dances. It was just TF2 like it was back in 2009. It makes me kind of question Valve as a company as like, why are they doing this in the first place? And I feel like the reason should be more good than bad. All we could do is just continue hoping though, because like I said, this isn't the first time they've done something like this. If we're going to take things that they did from the past, they did a DMCA takedown on a CSGO Source 2 port project. And then a couple of months later, they announced Counter-Strike 2. So yeah, in conclusion, I want to say that I feel like Valve has a bigger reason to why they're doing this. It is sad to know that the project is no longer going to be in development because even myself, I was looking forward to seeing this project become completed. But now that Valve themselves has actually like strucken it down, it just kind of makes me question the reference of what they did with CSGO. And that's very just hopeful, wishful thinking. Now, to my real speculation, I'm sure nothing will come of this. I'm probably certain that nothing will happen. No game's going to be announced. Nothing will be released. We'll probably just continue getting some more bug fixes for TF2 and definitely maybe some more updates for Counter-Strike 2. It does make me a little anxious, though, because Valve did apparently allow development of games with AI in it. And my problem with that is that I don't want to see AI-generated games on the Steam store. This kind of completely contradicts the ban that they put on AI when it came to the store, but then now suddenly they're lifting that as well. So very weird things probably going on at Valve headquarters at the moment. Knowing Valve as a company, I have zero expectations for what they might do over the year because I expect nothing. I expect them just kind of just give us radio silence for another 2 years until something big is announced. But anyway, I kind of just wanted to speak about what I think of this, and that's about it really. That's it. I'll see you.